How many people are trapped not because they lack intelligence, talent, or opportunity, but because they keep postponing the life they know they should be living? At first, it doesn't feel dramatic. It feels quiet, subtle, almost harmless. You tell yourself you'll start tomorrow, that today was heavy, that your mind is tired, that you deserve rest before effort. And in that silence, days pass, weeks blur, months dissolve. The goals you once felt burning in your chest now feel distant, abstract, almost like they belong to another version of you. Procrastination rarely announces itself as destruction. It arrives disguised as comfort, distraction, or false patience. And slowly, it steals clarity, confidence, and identity. This is where the story often begins, not with failure, but with stagnation. A sense that life is paused while the world keeps moving. The body wakes up, performs routines on autopilot, scrolls endlessly, consumes without intention. The mind feels busy but not productive, exhausted but not fulfilled. And deep inside there is a quiet knowing. This is not laziness. This is something deeper, something psychological, something learned, something that can be unlearned. Procrastination is not a time management problem. It is a self-regulation problem. Science shows that chronic procrastination is rooted in emotional avoidance, distorted reward systems, and a fractured relationship with discomfort. The mind avoids what threatens the ego, what creates uncertainty, what challenges identity. And so it escapes into distraction, into food, into sleep, into fantasies of a future that never becomes present. The inner conflict grows here. Scarcity thinking whispers that effort may not be worth it, that even if you try, you might fail. Laziness disguises itself as exhaustion, but the truth is that the body is often tired because the mind has no direction. Focus dissolves because the nervous system is overstimulated and under-disciplined. Every postponed action reinforces an unconscious belief: I cannot trust myself to act. And that belief becomes heavier than any unfinished task. Then comes the breaking point. It might arrive as anxiety at night, staring at the ceiling while tomorrow's responsibilities press against your chest. Or as frustration when you see others moving forward while you feel frozen. Or as emptiness, the most dangerous signal of all, when even distraction no longer satisfies you. In that moment, something becomes clear. Nothing changes unless you change. Not your circumstances, not the calendar, not motivation, you. This is the awakening. The realization that procrastination is not your enemy, it is a signal. A message from the mind asking for restructuring, not punishment. And science agrees. Transformation begins not with willpower, but with awareness. With understanding how the brain works, how habits are formed, and how identity is rewritten through action. Step 1. Regulate the emotional brain. Neuroscience shows that procrastination begins in the limbic system, the emotional brain. When a task triggers fear, boredom, or self-doubt, the brain seeks immediate relief. The solution is not forcing productivity, but learning emotional regulation. This means pausing, breathing, and naming the emotion instead of escaping it. Studies show that labeling emotions reduces their intensity. When you say, I feel resistance, instead of obeying it, you create space. That space is power. Step 2. Reduce the task to remove threat. The brain avoids what feels overwhelming. Large goals activate threat responses. Science calls this cognitive overload. The solution is fragmentation. Break tasks into steps so small they feel almost insignificant. Not change my life, but open the document. Not transform my body, but drink water. Momentum is born from completion, not ambition. Each small action releases dopamine, retraining the brain to associate effort with reward. It was in that moment that he realized he didn't have to face everything alone. There were transformative materials that helped people reorganize their minds, break destructive patterns, and regain control. The links are in the description. Step 3. Rewire the reward system. Modern life has hijacked dopamine. Endless scrolling, processed food, constant stimulation all train the brain to seek pleasure without effort. Science is clear. To beat procrastination, you must reverse this pattern. Delay gratification intentionally. Do the hard thing before the easy thing. Over time, the brain relearns that effort leads to deeper satisfaction. Discipline becomes less painful. Focus becomes natural again. Step 4. Build identity-based habits. Research from behavioral psychology shows that lasting change happens when actions align with identity. Instead of saying, I want to be productive, you say, I am someone who honors my word. Each completed action reinforces that identity. Procrastination weakens when your self-image shifts. You stop asking how you feel and start acting according to who you decide to be. This is where the body enters the transformation. Sleep stabilizes the nervous system. Nutrition affects focus and impulse control. Movement clears mental fog. Science confirms what ancient wisdom always knew. The mind and body are inseparable. You cannot heal one while neglecting the other. Step 5. Introduce silence, prayer, or conscious stillness. The overstimulated mind cannot focus. Studies on mindfulness, prayer, and meditation show reduced anxiety and increased executive function. Silence is not emptiness, it is recalibration. Whether through prayer, breath, or stillness, you reconnect with something deeper than impulse, something grounded, something eternal, and in that space, clarity returns. The rebuilding phase is not dramatic. It is quiet, repetitive, disciplined. You wake up and do what must be done. Even when motivation is absent, you speak to yourself with firmness and compassion. You replace self-criticism with affirmation. I act despite resistance. I move even when it's uncomfortable. I am becoming disciplined. The body begins to respond. Energy increases. Focus sharpens. Nutrition becomes intentional. The mirror reflects not perfection, but respect. A new identity is forming, not based on fantasy, but on evidence, on action, on follow-through. And clarity arrives not as a lightning strike, but as a steady light. You know where you're going because you're finally moving. Throughout this transformation, he found clarity through ebooks that strengthened the mind, broke cycles of scarcity, and helped rebuild life from within. If you feel ready for that step, the links are in the description. Procrastination loses its grip when awareness replaces avoidance, when discipline replaces chaos, when purpose replaces distraction. This is not about doing more. It is about becoming more aligned, more honest, more intentional. When the mind changes, the body responds. When the body aligns, life transforms. If this reflection resonated with you, like the video, subscribe to the Mind Forge, and continue forging a mind built for clarity, discipline, and purpose.